Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Nerds and Words. We are the Nerds and we do have words for you this week. As always, joined with Joe Never Fails.
Yo!
Moreland TV.
Hello.
Potion Shop TV.
Yo!
And myself, Tim Allen, 1337. Potion and I will be guiding us through the different topics here. Everybody's in a little bit of a mood today. That's good.
These get worse every week.
It's fun. It's a little icebreaker because we don't know each other at all, right? So as usual, I'd like to start off with our weeks before we move into patch notes video, other games and what's happening in and around the gaming industry. So Moreland, if you'd like to start this week on start right now on what you did this week.
Not a lot. I took most of this week off, but when I was playing, I just did a little bit of Star's End grind. Got lucky with distortions, like always. Apparently, even though I have like 40 or 50 hours of Star's End data, I'm still super RNG carried because people with more data than that are saying that my distortion rate's like twice as high as theirs. So, pretty big margin of error, I guess.
Different averages, it's crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
I got some tinfoil for that.
Anything else?
It's got to be my
It's
Zodiac,
almost-
right? It's got to be my Zodiac.
It's almost like the yellow drop rate is different for different people at different times. It's crazy. This is crazy.
Based on their Zodiac.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I really hope that there's actual data that somebody proves at some point that their Zodiac stuff actually affects something in this game, like legit, like real, like actual data.
It'd be almost impossible. It'd be almost impossible.
I know, but it feels so good.
They do actually affect Amity games, but that's the only thing that I can 100% confirm.
I had a really, really low-key week, too. I disconnected from the internet, and I went on a home staycation to Winterfell, King's Landing, Dorne, Bravos. I watched...
That's a lot of seasons.
Dude, I know. I'm literally like 6 seasons deep into Game of Thrones this week. I did a lot of like inward contemplation, disconnection from the internet, talked to friends and family at home, contemplated content for the future for my stream, and very little connection to any social media, games, and whatsoever. Just watched and talked. That was it. All I did all week. Felt really good.
Nice. That sounds good. A little mental health week, huh?
I've been doing this for a real long time, and this week is a really, like, there's a lot of shit going on in the world outside of what the fuck I'm doing in a fucking video game. So, like, I just took the week. Just took it. A lot of crazy stuff happening, different games going on. It's just, I don't always want to dive in and keep scraping and clawing in what I'm doing. And sometimes it's okay to just,
I agree.
More.
Yeah.
Let's think of beyond.
So for me, I moved maybe 3 weeks ago, and I've just not been able to hit my rhythm again. And anybody who watches my streams like, Potion just doesn't stream anymore because I've just been all over the place with my sleep cycle, and then just feeling like I have the motivation to start up again. It's like I'm not sure where I need to. I want to have like a plan when I come back and do stuff, right? It's like, and right now I feel like I do one stream and then like my sleep schedule's messed up for 2 days, and then it's like I do another stream. I just feel like I'm all over the place. I'm just trying to like nail down a new type of rhythm for myself and then just jump into it and get good with that. Been playing a lot of Last Oasis. That might have a small part to do in it, but it's, my sleep schedule on top of that's already messed up. That's just what I do when I'm not streaming, so... And Last Oasis has been a blast, so I've been playing that a lot, getting a lot of good PvP. Not necessarily the best as you would expect, but it's been fun.
Did you move far when you moved?
No, I didn't move far at all. Yeah, I just stayed in town.
Yeah, I moved recently too, maybe about 2 months ago, and I'm still having trouble finding a homeostasis. I think Joe just moved recently too. We all kind of moved recently, I think. I don't know, but I find it hard. Yeah. I was in my last place for like 6 years or something. I find it hard to find kind of a new normal, even though everything's basically the same. So I get that. I respect that.
It's tough to find a rhythm, dude. Like it is. I understand.
I'm thinking I'm just going to hit up the YouTube train a lot more just because of it. It's like I got all this extra free time. I'm just burning it. It was like, might as well do something a little productive, right?
Yeah. So for me, I had a big week, both inside and out of gaming, to steal a phrase from my friend. Joe and I hung out on Monday, as we sometimes do, and I got out a lot of emotions about BDO, the Siege scene, and just streaming in general. And so after that, I had some realizations of the martyrdom that I have subjected myself to over the past couple of years is over.
That?
Yeah, I'm realizing it's over. I'm done with it. I'm done.
I know this is really important. I'm just letting you know, like, I'm listening. I'm just going through my new Tinder matches at the same time. Okay, just go ahead. I'm joking. Go ahead.
Well executed timing of joke as always, Joe. Well done. Yes.
Potion, is your camera off on purpose?
You gotta refresh. Look it again.
I had stuff going on last Oasis, so I just decided to just turn it off for the start. It's fine.
What? I see your camera.
No, I mean for my stream, I made it black. They don't see anything. No gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Oh, you see Potion? I don't see. I just see an actual bottle of.
I did. I had to close it out and go back in. And
oh yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
You weird. Just re-click podcast and it'll refresh it. Can I get back to my big realization?
Yeah, yes, go. Yes.
So fucking disrespectful. Jesus.
Oh my god.
So I realized that I have subjected myself to just an outrageous amount of martyrdom, and it doesn't matter about being right about things that don't matter to me, and I gotta stop, and I'm over it, and I'm tired, and I care way more about the Siege scene than the Siege scene cares about, and apparently PA and certainly Cacao Games. And so I keep writing these dissertations and talking to people and making connections and all this kind of stuff, and it just doesn't fucking matter, and I'm wasting so much time and energy and mental fortitude on it, and I just kind of fucking let it go. And to that end, I want Black Desert Online to be more fun and enjoyable and be able to focus on things that I don't do well, not only as a player, but also as a streamer. And so I'm going to be passing Redbox of Aftershock off to Soggy on Sunday because there's too much pressure for me I feel too much guilt when I don't show up for a Node War, when I really need to focus on my stream because I quit my job, my real job, finally fully quit it this week. And so I'm on my own, just streaming YouTube, whatever I can make money on with the internet. And I need to be able to take care of myself more. I need to be able to play a little bit more selfishly. I'm still the GM of Aftershock, but if I need to not be there for a Node War, it doesn't hurt this great community that we've all built together. So to that end, I re-rolled Guardian finally and sold my backup weapon, so I'm 289 AP. I've been grinding my ass off. Stacy's dad made a grind sheet for me so I can track how I'm grinding, which has been this great motivation. You know, when people come in chat, they go, how much are you making here per hour? I just go, I don't fucking know. I'm just streaming, man. I'm playing Lich. I don't care. You know, that's bullshit. You know, I need to track stuff. I need to get better. People care about how much silver per hour you make, and I need to do a better job at doing that and providing information, you know, because that is a big draw as my career is people want to know what I'm doing or how I'm doing it, or maybe they have 200 AP and I have 289. They want to know what they have to look forward to. So I've really enjoyed the hell out of that. Also completed the biggest sponsorship ever with Raid Shadow Legends. That was insane. I've streamed 57 hours this week before going live today for a 24-hour stream. And so I've just dug in super, super, super hard. So I've just had this kind of realization that I've been holding on to things that don't matter, that have been damaging myself professionally, personally, mentally, and I'm just letting it go. I hold on to too much all the time, and I'm just letting some of it go and starting to be a little more selfish and focus on things that are actually going to benefit me and be important to me, so I can be a better person, a better streamer, and happier.
Happiness is definitely a huge deal.
That was my week.
That's a big week.
Yeah.
A lot of shit going on, dude. My favorite part about the whole thing is like you're diving into content creation, which is admirable. Like it's a very scary thing to do because it's kind of like the 1 foot in, 1 foot out feeling of a lot of people that take streaming for a hobby and then they want to go in hardcore, but like always have that thing holding them back, or a part-time job or a full-time job or whatever. When you make that decision, it's a really serious thing. You know, I've been doing it for 4 years. Like, it's a very serious journey to go on, to think that, you know, the stream is the thing that's going to put food in your mouth and be the future, you know? So like, well, I wish you the absolute best. And I hope you kick it as much as possible, dude.
My family has a business, and so I'm not just cold quitting and leaving them, you know, out to dry. So one day a week, Fridays, which I don't stream anyway, I go out and help them and make some deliveries or sales calls or telephone calls or emails or whatever they need. So I'm still keeping a toe in there just because I have loyalty to my family for the amazing life that they've been able to provide me, and quite frankly, the support to be able to make this decision too. So big
nice
week, a lot of stuff happened.
Back too. Yeah, for sure, dude. Yeah.
Do you have an idea of what you're going to be doing in BDO with your extra time?
Well, so far it's been grinding the shit out of Histria. I have an idea of getting an Elton piece before Joe, but it's really just I want to. I know it's just funny.
It's a great insane goal to go for. I mean, like, get it, dude.
It honestly just keeps me interested. There's a little bit of excitement every time I kill an Elton, and I'm gonna keep doing it until that excitement fades. I know it probably sounds naive and new and all that kind of stuff, but I'm gonna do that for a little while. But really, it's pushing gear. That's the two things that I lack in my stream is proper grinding and taking information in and being able to show it to people, and then gear. I need more gear.
Same.
So that's my focus is really gearing up, and then maybe I record, you know, some shift LMBs. Or, shift LMBs on Guardian where I get 7 kills or something. That'll be fun, too.
I can't wait till we talk about the multipliers.
So, that was my week. Thank you, guys. What's next? Okay, Potion doesn't have his phone, so this is my job this week, right?
Sure.
Okay.
You volunteered for it earlier.
we have some awesome events this week. Maybe interesting is a better way of putting it. They're not necessarily anything crazy huge, but they are something to talk about, and I do think they bring something a little bit different to BDO from past events. One of them is it was mentioned in the patch notes. It doesn't have an event page, but you can trade in through a daily quest and get hunter seals, and you trade in hunter seals and you get sharps to hards. And I think the exchange rate is pretty bad, but I think the idea is really good.
When you say pretty bad, you mean irrelevant, right?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
I think it's like 30 hunter seals for like 1 sharp or something like that. I don't know.
It would actually have been better to just not have the event in the game.
Yeah. I like
the
idea.
4 to 5 times is mathematically bad.
So
the only thing it does is scam people who don't know better. That's the only purpose of the event.
Thanks, BDO.
So I think
scam.
I think the thing I want to talk about for the event though is like, is that type of event like the right direction, right? Is that what we're looking for in BDO? Do we want that type of event where we're turning hunter seals and making that content relevant? I think the idea of it is cool. If they miss the balance, maybe they can go back and redo that later on, right?
I think the idea is cool because it's nice to have an interchangeable ingredient for things like blackstones, hards, and sharps, because it's sort of a corrective. Like, the market will naturally balance itself out. If there's a depletion of sharps, people would spend their hunter seals on that in theory, but of course they have to come up with numbers that aren't completely ridiculous, right? Like, the numbers, I don't know how they could have possibly arrived at the numbers they arrived at this event. They don't make any sense, but yeah, in theory it's good. I think it would be best if it was accompanied with sort of a slight overhaul to hunter seals in general. Like, if they started to make it so that awakened boss scrolls go straight into your black spirit safe, you don't have to do the tedious little
that'd be nice,
like daily scroll collection thing. Like, there's some quality of life stuff they could do to make bossing a little bit better or a little bit more fun, or just, you know, less meticulous. And then if they coupled that with like a permanent change to hunter seals along the lines of what they're doing, but again with ratios that actually make sense, then I think that'd be really good for the game's economy, and it would help us, it would insulate us a little bit from the like event dependence that we have right now on certain commodities.
Yeah, I think what they kind of did is they moved this way from the accessory event dependency to the sharp and hard event dependency. You know, it's like It's like, all right, well, you got Dark Rifts now, and that kind of fixes the accessories, but then you still have Sharp's Hards and like all these other things that still are event based, right? I kind of get that though. Yeah, I think the idea of making like reforming some of the old systems that provide you hunter seals would really benefit the game a lot.
I think there's a ton of opportunities for them to clean up shit like that. The thing that you said, Moreland, with getting your scrolls from like your Black Spirit chest or whatever, if that just popped in and you had, you completed the story, you did that once, you had the knowledge, it just popped in every day, that would be a huge quality of life change. But I also agree that it would be nice to be able to get something other than, reform stones and black stones or weapon stones and armor stones out of hunter seals right now, combat seals. It'd be nice to have something else to use those for.
Yeah. There's been no reason to use them for anything other than armor stones, basically, for years. Outside of like one time where there was an event where we needed reform stones for like a journal or something. Like other than that, for the last 4 years, armor stones have been the only viable option.
It just doesn't make sense money wise.
Well,
so I agree with that. That's a great idea.
It's a reoccurring topic that we have, right? Is this doesn't scale? This hasn't scaled. They're so focused on grinding and loot scrolls, and life skills got a great buff to it, but all these kind of weird mechanics got left behind. I don't know if anybody really would have noticed that hunter seals didn't matter if they didn't put this in the forefront. But
like I think this hunter seals, or whatever you want to call them, auras, or all these like different types of like, was it Black Spirit's Greed? They have all these token systems in the game, and just makes it really I guess it makes you feel robust.
Bloated.
Bloated. There you go. That's the perfect word for it. Makes it feel bloated, and I feel like if they have to do something, consolidate them all down, right?
Well, that also goes back to what we were talking about last week, is the bloat in this game. When we were talking about the new player experience with seasons, the bloat in this game is something that's very intimidating and for newer players, but here, just in general, it's just like, shit, what are these seals for again? Do I care about these? For me, hunter seals, I've always just kept them in my Velia bank for a rainy day when I got desperate and sold a bunch of black stones, or I just went through some crazy enhancement thing. But
or again, you need grade 3 armor reform stones for some stupid book or something that they came out with.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was for AP or DP, so.
I think one of the big things is if they are just throwing things into the game to test people's interest, it's not just whether the content is interesting, it's also like the relevance of the scale. So there are so many things that could be unpopular because they're mathematically not relevant, but that's separate from whether people are interested in doing the content. So there you can't just like throw the dart, close your eyes and toss a dart. Like you actually have to think, well, can we get this in a place where people want to try it? Is it going to be an X alternative, or is it just YOLO? I'd love to see things that are a lot less YOLO. But that just seems like the way they're doing it.
Have you guys done the math on the conversion, like per hunter seal compared to per blackstone?
Yeah, I went through it on Wednesday when the patch came out. They're even at max price, they're all significantly worse than armor stones.
See, at the very least, it should have been the same. At the very, it would have been like the go-to spot. It's not like you have infinite hunter seals. And it's an event.
Maybe they can't do math either.
Maybe they're worried about people who have too many saved up, but I mean, they could have made it break even with the armor stones.
Can we change the podcast name to Nerds and Math?
There we go.
Are we really married to this name?
What other events did we have? Anything notable?
We
have the new season event, right?
I want to hear what you guys think about this, because this is I think bigger than.
What's the motto? We were so close.
So let's see. What's it? It's 10 blackstones for the season gear per drop, right?
Yeah, it's a decent amount, and I mean, it like other events, it has that weird effect where the best place to grind it is actually low end places like polys, because it's based off of mob quantity more than quality. So you can get a ton of these things if you grind somewhere like polys or fogans or whatever, and basically get your season character pretty close to max probably in the first day or two when the season starts.
Out of 24 hours of grinding Histria since patch, I have 85 Right, so I have 850 Blackstones for season already.
All right, so now
I don't think they should have called it season. They should have just called it like new player catch-up event, because it's at this point it's so far from anything resembling a season. Like,
all right, now question here. All right, how quickly can we actually do this? Because I want to get a Tet armor piece and make it profitable. Make it very, very profitable. Can we do that? Is it possible? Can I do this in like 3 hours if I plan it out and do it right?
Profitable.
And then make like $1.5 billion or $2 billion in 3 hours, right?
Well, there's no way to make money off of the new gear.
Well, at the end, it converts to Tet boss gear, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
so he's talking about
sell it. It converts to a non-sellable piece of boss
you
gear.
have to enhance that to pen. You have to enhance it to pen and then put C10 Caphras into it.
And then I can sell
to sell Dead God. Yes, you can sell it.
You could eventually turn it into a Dead God armor. I mean, I guess if Dead
you can
God
sell the Dead God
price, then you could theoretically save like a bill or two in the process of making a 50 bill armor. But I mean, I don't really know if it's going to be like.
I have a try right now, so that's. I mean, that's something. All right.
Do you need weapon stones and then the concentrated or stone and then concentrated stone to enhance it? And
I was just
only the first level, right? So you can only get up to plus 15 or so far into plus 15, right?
I think you can exchange the Blackstones for ores and shit too, though. So I don't remember exactly how it works, but I think it's going to be a lot of materials. That plus the stuff you get from the main quest, you're just going to be able to fly through your gear progression.
Agreed. What do you think about the structure of this event coming out a week before it coming out, and then also talking about the prep that some people have been doing, for the quest gear?
I don't like it at all, man. We're the only region who got this. Every other region that's self-published just got the season. They didn't have any consolation prize events. And
Weird.
Like, no one wants to play a season where all you do is bring in your shit from the regular game. We want to play a season that's fresh, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you really think that nobody wants to play that, or just high-end competitive players?
Well, this is what's going to happen. They're going to try it the first time. They're going to realize it's just normal BDO, and then they're going to never do it again, right?
I mean, I don't think anyone is going to have more fun bringing in stuff from the regular channel into the seasons than they would just playing a fresh start. Like, what would be more, especially with PvP out of the equation, why would it be fun to just put gear on a new character? Like, you can already do that right now.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is, for everybody that plays this game, that downloads BDO this week, that starts playing and then goes, oh, there's also a system where I can do this, and then hears about their friend doing it, and then dives in, like, that new player experience is dramatically different from my new player experience.
Why don't they
I would have a lot of fun.
Like, they could just add that to Olvia.
I think this is good for new players. Yeah, I mean, the season in general is structured, it seems like, exclusively for new players, right?
Yes.
Like, so that's why I'm saying, like, they should have just called this new player catch-up event. They shouldn't call
it
nothing seasonal about it.
New player accelerated version of grind.
Yeah.
So when we were talking about this last week, I can't tell if I'm being dense or just not seeing from your perspective, all three of you on this. I don't understand how this is helpful to new players in any way, shape, or form.
You are being
it just speeds up their progression. It speeds up the first, couple months of their game. If you get on and you play seasons and you get all this Tuvala gear, you're going to hit that, soft cap-ish 240 Kudum mark probably 5 or 10 times faster than you would if you were grinding a normal server. That's really all it is.
And for most new players that are in that casual theme park MMO phase, let me just do quests and not be bothered by anybody else, some of their biggest deterrents to continued gameplay are getting griefed by higher geared players, not understanding the dynamic of the open world PvP.
I'm going to be grinding Aukman in the first day. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be grinding Aukman the very, very first day. I'm going to get on, make a Guardian. I'm going to get up to 61 in like 8 hours, and I'm going to be fucking into Aukman by 12 hours. I'm just going to be done. I'm gonna be.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. You can leech XP on a non-season server with your season characters, so your guildies can just boost you at trees, and then you're 61.
Are you kidding me?
No, you can't. You can't get on a. You can't get on a server, dude.
Yeah, you can. You just can't put I don't think you can You can't use non-season characters on season servers, but you can use season characters on non-season servers. I'm pretty sure.
What the fuck?
I'm literally just gonna go and get piled to 58, and then do questing. I'll be 61 in 4 hours. 4 hours.
That's no fun at all. Nobody wants to do that, though, Moreland, right? Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to do that, right?
It's so hard to just make a fresh start where you can't, where it's a fresh start.
I think that this shit is easy to fucking nitpick. It's easy to complain about, and tons of people are going to be like, all right, let me go in. And, oh, yo, it's popping on seasons. All right, I'm going in on seasons. Let's clap these kids. Like,
there's 80 people at Polly's. I got 2 mobs. This is fun.
Like, people.
How is that a streamlined experience for new players? That's the worst part of the game. If you started this game right now, right, and all the free things that people are going to be bringing in anyway, you watch a YouTube guide, you get through the game, and you go through your new player experience, even maybe up to Polly's on a lot of these servers, very uninterrupted. Right? Maybe you get one shitlord, right? That flags up on anybody that he sees at lower places. But then I go away. I don't just sit there for hours and go, you're shit, quit this game, I hate you. Right? And there's really very little of that because of the karma system. So I feel like the new player experience is already protected. And then so we're going, hey, new players, come into this. Let's see if you can camp one pack at Polly's around 300 other people trying to do the same damn thing. But hey, guess what? Your enhancements go quicker.
Well, I think the thing that I think about, all right, you get done with all that. Let's say players play the season and they have a blast, bro. They just have a blast with it, right? All right, you have tech gear and you have accessories. What are you gonna do? You go for a pin? Like
wait till next season.
That's the worst part of the game is going for a pin. It really is.
They're going for TED. They're going for TED accessories. They're ready for TED accessories immediately.
Yeah, they don't get TED accessories. They get which are like tragolds, and then they get like a
so
tech
like
potion
I mean,
thing.
all right, so they go for TED accessories. That's not fun. That's when most people quit the game, right? That's when the majority of casual players they get try accessories, and then they're like, man, I'm going to have to start going for TED accessories now, and then that's where a lot of people fall off.
This is kind of what I was saying when they first launched seasons. This is the big difference between BDO mobile progression and BDO PC progression. On mobile, you constantly have little things that you're working on day after day, even when you've been playing the game for months and months. On PC, you hit, that's a reason we call it soft cap. Like you hit these walls where your progression stretches out. You don't necessarily have like some sort of movement to look forward to. And now that we have seasons, we're going to be boosting new players to the one of the biggest plateaus that they're going to hit in terms of their gear almost instantly. So yeah, I don't think that that's fun. I mean, I think that there's a much better way to pace this.
Adrenaline hits regularly.
I hear you. I disagree. I think that fundamentally this entire system is designed to allow a new player to have a fun, different experience than the loneliness, the solitude of like doing the homework of getting to soft cap by themselves right now in the game. It's going to feel like there's a lot more action all going around them, and like the game is alive for them. So that if it was a bad experience and then they hit the mental, like mathematical realization that they've got a lot further to go than where they've currently got to right now, instead of saying, hey, I'm quitting, I'm done, I'm not doing that, they're saying, wow, it was fun already, let me keep pushing. So I think that they are fundamentally addressing the things that are keeping people out of Soft Cap Plus, and hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully, this is just a large population of Soft Cap players that are going to say, hey, maybe I want to keep playing BDO. And if not, there shouldn't be anything different because players that are currently playing are going to kick their asses as soon as they come in the game. It's fodder otherwise. It's just new people to clap them, So like, there's no downside. There's no downside to seasons. They're trying to get new players in the game.
So
I'm not arguing that there's downsides. I just think it's a massive missed opportunity. So it's 5% of what it could have been.
I agree with both of you, but so Joe, I think the season experience for a new person who's never played before will be fun. But once they're done with that season experience, it'll be the most boring game they've ever played, which is the problem.
That depends.
So you get done, you get the season stuff in a month, right? And you're done, right? Or if you're smart, you do it in a day and you're done.
It depends. If you play for 8 hours a day, it might be done in a month.
No, it'll be play 8 hours a day. It'll be done in 2 days. I can do it in 2 days.
Not
in
you.
16 hours.
not
you get so many rewards for doing the main quest, and then on top of that, there's another there's a code. I don't know where this came from. Have you guys seen this? There's a code you can redeem on June 17th for another big pile of materials.
If it's
So you have
that easy,
on
oh
top
my
of
god.
they're handing out stuff left and right. It's going to be super fast getting all your season shit done, even if you're new.
Mm-hmm. My concern
if
is
it's
not
going to be that easy.
My
that's a problem.
concern is not them having fun getting the season gear. My concern is what they could do after that, right? I want players to come to the game and be long-term players because I like more community, more viewers, right? More viewers for all of us. That makes sense. But I do not think this is good long-term. I think it's very short-sighted. I think that's the problem.
I think
that's my personal
opinion.
opinion.
A lot of them in the game at all is by doing shit like this. Like,
you think
you're going to get players in the game.
I kind of agree with Joe on this one. I think it's going to bring a certain amount of new players into the game, and some of them, regardless of how like too fast or whatever seasons is, some of them will stick around. Like it will grow the game's population. It'll be good for marketing. A lot of people were thinking about trying the game or thinking about coming back to the game have been asking me like, hey, what's the season thing? Is it a good time to check out the game again? And honestly, yeah, it is, because you're going to get a bunch of free shit. So it is a good time to get back into the game. I think that it could have been an amazing experience for everyone playing the game, new and olds. And it could have been 10 times more than what it's going to turn out to be. And, maybe for season 2, they'll learn some of those lessons. The problem is when I see things like this event that they just gave us, I don't feel like they're learning. I feel like they're going in the opposite direction. And so that makes me cynical about season 2. I feel like they're going to go backwards.
So 100%, 100%, bro. I would rather use my voice to voice those opinions to people that might be able to hear them than to say, oh, this sucks, you're not going to like it, oh man, you're not, seasons is bullshit, oh, it could have been, that is all I want to do with my voice. That's all I want to fucking do, is say that you new players should love this shit. I'm going to support it. I'm going to get it in front of as many people as I possibly can. If you like it, great. If you want to go soft cap plus, check out these guys here, guides, and then say to the homies, like the real heroes, this needs to be different for next time. We could have done so much better this way. That's the only way that we can improve it. That's the only impact I can have. That's just
way too positive, Joe. That's off brand for me. I can't get behind that.
Dude, you gotta be hyped about it, man. You gotta be hyped about it, dude.
I'm excited for them to send us our BDO partner or Pearl Abyss partner comment cards on this, so we can effectively communicate back to them what they could have done better and how close they were, because I'm sure they're very interested. They're so close. BDO, we were so close.
Moreland's right though, dude. Oh my god, I imagine what seasons, and this was the core of my feedback when I first heard about everything that was involved in seasons, was this should have been WoW Classic, BDO's version of WoW Classic. That's exactly what this should have been. And man, imagine what that would be like.
Maybe someday. Maybe this. I mean, this could be the opening, right? Like we could still be headed in that direction. We just gotta
look at the progress already, because they've changed North America seasons then from KR's. So they're already making changes. They're putting in a fucking PvP part. Yeah, I can say that. They're putting in a PvP server for North America.
They had that in KR though, like a month in, and they're doing the same thing for us. They're going to make us wait a month, and they're going to.
I thought they didn't have it at all in KR.
Have you eaten guacamole today already or something, Moreland? You're like super positive, dude.
Am I? Feel kind of sleep deprived, honestly.
That just very silver line today. It's refreshing. I feel good. I feel better about myself too. Quick shout out. Joe looks great today.
You look great today, Tim. I like your hair.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
I wish I could do that.
When you did this, I was so jealous. I've never done this before with my beard today.
How's it feel? I like that,
dude. It feels so much greater than I thought it was going to feel.
Yeah,
I really want to meet somebody who's never seen the podcast and only listened to it.
I don't know if I want to meet that person. They probably think we're weird.
Probably think I'm weird. So I listened to the podcast real quick, if I can do this. I listened to the podcast in the car, and I didn't realize how infectious and fun Potion Shop's little giggles at our conversation is. He's sitting over there playing Last Oasis. We're all debating about math and averages, and then I don't hear it when we're doing this. I just hear a just a little.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
I'm gonna be self-conscious about it for like the rest of the podcast. Now I'm gonna be over here and be like,
no, please don't, please don't. I ruined it.
Gotta get the video version of this.
All right, shall we soldier on? It's been 3 weeks of seasons. BDO, we were so close. It's not gonna be what it should be, but we'll see what they do with it.
Fingers crossed for more for the future. Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
good opportunities there.
I think they're trying to do like a Shadow Arena thing or a Shadow Arena thing, right? Where it's just this wild idea that a lot of people had a lot of fun with, and so I appreciate the thinking outside the box thing. But if they could come down to planet Earth every once in a while, or planet Azeroth, whatever BDO is called,
yeah,
and just see what's happening.
Right?
Yeah. Why haven't they told us that? What planet are we on?
I don't think it matters. Everybody just calls it Azeroth. It doesn't matter what video game world it is. It's just Azeroth, right?
Yeah.
Middle Earth. I don't know.
Middle Earth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Winterfell.
So let's see. We also had the Stars End changes. I tested one of the rotations over by the beach, and it was kind of meh. Did you guys test any of the other ones?
They did 2 of them, right? That's what they changed 2 of them. They
changed quite a bit. Sort of like a lot of the internal up the hill rotations. I think those got extra crystals, but they were all camped when I went out there, so I didn't really test it a whole bunch.
I didn't get out there, but from what I looked at a couple of screenshots and saw people like murmurs about was that this is kind of just like people love grinding Stars End. Let's give them some more space to grind, even if it's not like the newest best rotations. It's just like let's give more people more spots.
They're viable. They might not be the new meta, but at least they're viable if everything else is taken. So that's good.
I read that they moved some of the crystals so they didn't overlap. Did that scuff any of the rotations?
I don't think they did anything to Main or Cliff, which are the 2 that people usually do. Those they probably already, since they're so popular, they probably figured they don't need to make any changes there. At least main rotation seemed pretty much exactly the same. I don't know about Cliff, but I heard that it wasn't changed. It was, I think it's more of the over by the roads where they added shit.
Yeah.
Word. It's good. More.
I actually really like that because it's one of the most popular spots in the game, and only having 2 rotations made it super hard to actually find a spot when you're just trying to have some fun and chill out for like an hour or 2, right, before you go to bed or something, right? So what you want to go on, relax, then go to bed later on, and you just want to find an easy spot. This is just not one, right? At Polyforce, you can go to like one of the bad spots and it's to go grind for an hour, and it's nice, right? They needed that for Stars End, right? So,
well, I'm so fucking tired of dealing with mystics coming up and going DFS. Yeah, I want a DFS. Fucking suck mystic. I really want a DFS.
Tim, you're gonna like these multiplier changes. Mystics are gonna be unhappy.
But the point being, I'm fine with PvP scared. At a grind spot, especially at like Stars End or something. But just the grind for spot thing tilts me into next year. And then if you PvP somebody at Stars End, you don't actually kill them. You kill them to mobs, right? So let's risk our Elcars. So I'm kind of okay with a little care bear on
Stars End, though. It's really hard to karma bomb me at Stars End. Bad things happen.
All right, well, I'm constantly reminded that I'm not an open world PvPer, so I'll acquiesce to your superior opinion.
I had some stream sniper die to mobs twice on Thursday when I was grinding. Yeah.
Oh no.
F.
That'll make sure they don't come back a second time. That's for sure.
I don't really think we had much else.
What was
this week? Do you guys remember?
So grinding, I don't understand the whole event for the servers, right? So I wanted you guys to explain that a little better. So there's an event for the season server that's coming up. I grind, I get this item. What do I do with this item? Do I save it? Do I turn it into an NPC? What am I doing with this item?
You just save it. You'll give it to Fugar.
Okay. And Fugar is
he's the season NPC.
So he'll be
he's about the stuff for the enhancement items, right? Didn't we talk about that already?
The yellow goop, the little.
Yeah, I just didn't know the entire backstory on it, so that's why I was wanting some clarification.
Yeah. Grind hard as possible, Manshams, Poly's mobs, Naga's mobs, and it turns into enhancement items for seasons.
Cool.
TLDR.
Yeah, it also turns into the item that you can exchange for Tavula accessories. So it's not even just Blackstones. You can actually slam Tavula rings and shit with this stuff.
Why?
It's gonna be so easy, dude. I didn't realize it's gonna be that easy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they felt like they had to give us something because of the delay and this.
I don't think we can even say they were so close with this one anymore. It's I don't think we can say
it. Next time.
We'll get them next time.
We'll get them next time, boys.
So close. We'll get them next time.
Just so close. We were so.
Good try, kid. Good swing. Good swing.
So, can we talk Global Lab patch notes, or was
Let's
there
do
something else you guys wanted to go through first?
Lead the way, bro.
Yeah. I haven't been keeping
Okay.
up with it, so you have to be the leader on this one.
This is a fucking eye chart, man. Holy shit.
Yeah,
gotta
the
pull this up
chart's
real quick, too.
pretty intimidating. Here, let me grab it.
Who did this?
So here's what happens. Every class in this game has a hidden multiplier against other classes in this game, and some of them are above 100%, some of them are below 100%.
Oh my god!
So you might do 10% more damage to a lawn, but 15% less damage to an archer, et cetera, depending on your class. And this is apparently how they've been balancing the game, and they've been hiding all this. We saw some of these class modifiers in the past through data mines and shit, but for the most part, it's been hard to get your hands on what these actually are. And we don't know how often they like ninja change them behind the scenes without telling us, but now they're telling us what they are. And,
Wow.
they are, for the most part, reducing the impact of class modifiers, although they didn't get rid of them entirely. So, like, if you see the before and after, for Warrior, for example, I'm going from 108% to 105% against other Warriors. For Sork, I'm going from having an 88%. So I was only doing 88% damage to Sorks before. Now I'm going to do 105%. So massive damage for Warrior versus Sork. That's good. I like that. That's
They released these numbers. This is like
this is all on Global Lab. This is all on
Dude,
Global
this
Lab,
is
on the patch
so
notes.
much bigger than I thought it was going to be. Like, this is actually wild.
I thought there was just
So-
accuracy and stuff they were hiding. Oh.
Yeah. So then
So you're telling me
other-
that there's a hidden innate number that is the damage multiplier versus individual other classes from my class versus that, and they're changing and fucking with that on the Global Lab.
they're changing it
Right
big
now.
time. So in addition to changing the class multipliers, they're also buffing awakening damage for most but not all classes. So that's why there's this extra row that says not buff skills and 10% buff skills. So Warrior got some 10% buffs to their awakened abilities, so that's what that's referring to. If we look at Sork, some of the Sork skills were buffed by 5, some were buffed by 16 or 25. So any skills that was buffed, this guy basically did the math to show you how much damage you're going to do more or less relative to what you were doing before. So this isn't like a flat reduction where it says like minus 9%, that it's minus 9% compared to before the patch. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this should be a pretty like functional number. This is what you're going to feel in terms of the difference, are the numbers on this sheet.
Sork has a damage bonus on everybody except for Archer and Guardian.
But look at how much less damage they're doing to everybody else, though, dude. Let's go through every other class before we get to Guardian real quick. Let's go through every other one, please. Let's do Guardian for last. Let's do it top to bottom, bro. Let's do it top to bottom, dude.
Oh, so here's the crazy thing about it. For the most part, I actually feel like the changes here are pretty reasonable. Like,
yeah,
Sorks get nerfed. That's good. Most of the changes aren't that drastic. Like, there's some things that we could obviously nitpick at, and that's subjective, and we could argue all day long. But the biggest one that stood out to me, so remember, only awakened skills got buffed here. So when you see not buff skills, those changes include all of Succession. So if you look at Berserker, dude, Succession Zerker gets cut by like 10 to 20% for almost every class, and the Awakening gets buffed by 10 to 30%.
It's scary.
Why are we doing?
Why did that happen?
47% more damage for Awakened Berserker against Archer. 38% more damage for Awakened Berserker against Guardian.
Bro, there's been some.
You meta, boys.
They have so much work to do on this.
I mean, I feel like that almost solidifies Awakened Berserker as the large-scale class now. Like Archers and Guardians, I feel like are going to fall out as they get chunked by these Mega Men dudes. Like, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Not a lot of the Zerker community, if I can go out on a limb here, it's a very dedicated and salty community in general. where they focus on the negatives of their class so hard. One of the biggest things I hear about Zerkers is they need more damage on their super armors. Right, when they have Q buff, they have an ult bomb, they have 4 grabs, they have all this amazing stuff in their kit. If you mouse to move, you do an excellent job of moving around. And so, you know, this is insane that they just yeet people so fast.
And I think what's even more insane on top of what you just said is that Succession Berserker is probably considered one of the weakest successions in the game, and it's just getting blasted in this patch. Like,
how it's weak with its protection, not necessarily its damage.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't run into many Succession Berserkers. It just didn't strike me as a very popular, or maybe it's strong and I just haven't realized it. But I feel like almost every Berserker chooses Awakening because of that imbalance, especially in large scale.
Yeah.
So what a strange change.
Large scale is really interesting right now because the long range classes do so much damage that you can't get close enough as a melee character before you just go poof and you're out of the game. And so you have to have a long range ability, which is why Guardian has such huge AoEs, because they compensate for that meta, right? And so a lot of these classes that are very, very strictly melee, right, are just out of the game. And so they're been trying to buff their damage by a lot. So in 1v1s, a lot of times, like Ninja is out of this world, right? You know, and the only classes they're able to survive are iframe type classes, right? Like Musa has an iframe on his dash, right? He has perma super armor. You know, those are the only types of classes that can really survive in large scale. So I think that's a larger scope problem that this will probably not address, but I think they definitely need to be aware that when something's getting buffed or nerfed like this is like the Zerker thing is, I feel should have been obvious, right, before they went through and did that. So I'm not really sure what happened there.
I'm glad it's on the global lab at this point, so people can give feedback, and hopefully that will affect stuff that goes live. It's our responsibility, but for me, the way I'm thinking about this is like, I go back to when I first started playing BDO. When I dove into that game, this game 3 years ago, it was like Berserker and Warrior had these strong archetypes. It was like Warrior was the like in your face with the block, anti-cancel. Berserker was this like, hey, I can go in and I can grab you over and over and over again. I can grief with you. I can, perform in all these other things. And it feels like after CC changes, after other classes come into the game, Berserker has been getting less and less focus. However, recently with succession changes and the awakening changes that we've seen, I think that Awakening Berserker was going in a different direction. Like, thinking about it, was getting some attention, it was getting some love back. So if you choose to play that class, just like you said, Potion, like with 2 heals, 4 grabs, good movement, whatever, it's not the same as other classes. If you want to play another X type class, if you want to do that griefing thing, you could play a Lon, you could play a Mystic now, you could play a Ninja now. It's not made for that. I don't know if just giving Awakening damage 40% additional damage is the solution that is like going to fix things. I really don't know. I don't know enough about Zerker to comment. I just don't think that damage is real. That's a scary thing to see.
Well, the 36%. So, I mean, again, these are not all skills that were buffed, right? You have to go to the global lab to see which ones were actually increased. But the 36%, I'm pretty sure, is their Q buff. So,
well, they do 40% more damage to Guardian, 50% more damage to Archer. Rough numbers, obviously. 35% more to Lon. 33 for the 37% buffed skills or whatever it is. Right? That's with Q buff.
Yes,
everything.
That's with Q buff.
Okay, so with Q buff, you're think about doing 47% more damage to an archer. Like,
kind of happy about it. Yeah, I'm kind of happy about that, to be honest.
Oh my god, dude!
So these are really big changes if you consider like the base multiplier, right? Because this is what damage reduced in PvP. That's what these numbers are. So then it's playing off of the 1056% times 10, right? So these are ginormous changes. And why the fuck did they buff Valk?
I don't know. These might be really fun to play with. I don't even know. I don't know if I can speak enough about this. It's all just changed data. I don't know how the game's going to feel. Every class is going to feel different fighting other classes.
So it's going to what's crazy
turn the game inside out.
all the classes that I struggle to fight in 1v1, I'm looking at the multipliers that Warrior has. I have a huge negative multiplier against those classes. I thought that was just because of my accuracy and their evasion rating, but there's this whole nother layer. You know, when I'm fighting Sorks and Ninjas, for example, where I'm doing significantly less damage than I am against other classes. And it's the same thing with incoming damage. All these classes have huge bonus multipliers against Warrior, a class that was supposed to be like a tank, right? Or like the closest thing this game has to a tank. Everyone does bonus damage to Warriors, like looking at this list. Some of the only ones who don't are like the magic damage classes, which are the ones that are easy to kill, you know, like Dark Knight, Witch Wizard, etc. It's fascinating. Like, I feel like this is going to have a massive impact. And this is the second draft too. So when we say like, oh, it's only Global Lab, you know, they still might change it. They already did this once, and they already listened to feedback, and this is what they came up with. So this is probably pretty close to what we're going to actually get.
I agree.
Well, it looks like Witches, Wizards, and DKs are the only classes that are doing more. So, like, if you look at the left column, just Warrior, Witch and Wizard, and Dark Knight. Let's see where Sork is too.
Again, though, that's only with certain skills, right? That's with certain awakened
That's right.
Okay. Buff. That's not with all their damage. So, like, an awakened wizard does more damage to me. Okay, like that's fine. Honestly, they probably should do more damage to me. And you know, I mean, like I said, most of these changes, obviously, I'm looking at this from the perspective of a warrior. So a lot of this is really good for warriors. Most of these changes don't actually offend me that much. It's just the berserker ones that I kind of was looking at and like, really, Q buff needed that much more damage, huh? Okay.
So am I understanding this correctly? The base idea of this is to try to get rid of these bonuses and then rebalance the classes. So
that's the other thing, is that some of the class multipliers were actually increased and now exist in places where they didn't exist before. So, for example, if you go down to Witch and Wizard, before the patch, Witch and Wizards did 80% damage to other witches and wizards. After the patch, they are going to have different multipliers. So witches will now hit other witches
25%
for
harder.
105% damage, but they'll only hit wizards for 95, and wizards will hit other wizards for 105. So you'll hit your same class harder than you will the other staff class.
Bro,
for whatever
this is
reason.
so complicated.
Dude,
I don't know why they did that one in particular. I find a little baffling.
I have no idea how they're going to balance this.
You know what I find baffling? If we scroll down to the second to the bottom.
Shy after skills. That's interesting. Why you'd want to care about shy after skills?
No, second from the bottom.
Second. Shy after second from the bottom.
No, he's talking about second class from the bottom, Joe.
Oh, second class. That's a little bit different.
Yeah, look at the Guardian multipliers.
20% across the board, almost on everything. 5% for Valk, Musa, Mayowa. 18 for Guardian, Kuno. Witch, Wizard, DK. 2% DK is actually a negative. Striker, Mystic, Lawn. 12, 13, 10. Archer, minus 11.
Yeah, Archer and Ranger are the classes that they do less damage against. Otherwise, they're doing either same or more damage with buffed skill, with non-buffed skills.
No, it's all the Awakening. Right, all the Awakening.
You guys didn't get any buff skills, so this is your whole kit that's going to be changed. These are just your base multipliers getting changed across the board.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
And everybody's been telling me the second that I roll to Guardian, it's going to get nerfed.
I mean, I don't think this is a nerf for Guardian. It's honestly kind of
it's like a huge buff.
You're going to hit Sorks and Berserkers a lot harder. You're going to hit Rangers and Archers a lot less. But for the most part,
I'm saying it's a buff. Yeah, it's a buff. Yeah. It's a huge buff. It's stupid.
Well, it's not necessarily a huge buff.
Send you a Discord message real quick. Just read that real quick for me. Thanks, buddy.
Actually, Tim, don't get too excited, because if you look at other classes multipliers against Guardian, they almost all went up. You're going to be taking way more damage than you did before. If you look at that furthest column on the right, that's a lot of green text.
I also think, I'm going to go Joseph Dramas here for a second. I think this is the precursor to reworking defense.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, it's interesting that they're making Warrior more tanky and Guardian significantly less tanky.
They are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I think this is the precursor to reworking DP. They're just going to do offense then defense.
Guardian gets actually Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily about the
Especially by
damage.
large scale classes.
Yeah, and thinking about the same thing that Guardian does now, it's I got to kill and I'm going to die at the same time, which is Guardians are going to die a lot faster against everybody. That's why their damage is high. I like that change. That's kind of cool.
Isn't it fascinating? Because Guardians, everyone was complaining about how like ridiculously tanky Guardians were, and we couldn't really figure it out because it's like they're not an evasion class. Why are they? Do they have more health? Like, you know, we couldn't really figure out why they were so tanky. It's because of all these invisible modifiers, man.
Not a big surprise.
The block's big too. You know,
Surprised, not surprised, actually.
the block is big too. I think that's
I'm surprised I'm surprised how convoluted it is. I really am.
No wonder they've never been able to figure out how to balance this game. When we tell them buff a class, they're like, well, how are we supposed to do that?
This is how they balance it. Is they go through and they micro tweak class versus class modifiers, which is such a Pearl Abyss way of balancing, right? Like instead of going to the root issue, let's add extra things on the layer over and over again.
Can they just remove all of that? Can you just remove all of it? And
well, that's what I thought. People were saying that they were getting rid of the class modifiers, but that's definitely not what they've done here. I mean, some of the modifiers are actually increased. Like, you know, I'm looking at Striker versus Ninja. They had basically no modifier before, 99.8%, and now it's going up to 109. So some of the modifiers are actually growing. So they're not even getting rid of the concept of class modifiers. I guess they just, you know, a lot of these are probably from like 2017. You know, whenever we had the last major balance overhaul, and they're probably just finally being like, oh yeah, maybe we should change some of these.
Yeah. As crazy as this does seem to look at and to understand and to dive in and like really compare and contrast with one another, like I think that there's a lot that I can draw that's like crazy, but for me, not even thinking about this shit existing in the game previously, like I'm as complicated as it looks, I'm impressed. And I did not understand that there was so much thought and this stat existing in the game that they even were fucking around with, or that there was a difference. I think that there's a lot more to the battle system and like in the way that they've created it for themselves in like scaling and balancing abilities, scaling and balancing classes and cooldowns and all that shit than we really fucking understand. Because this is just complicated as hell. Like, how could you balance
my
this,
tinfoil, Joe?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, do you remember when the game first launched and when you leveled up, you got a random amount of HP?
Yes.
And then everyone got upset, and so they normalized it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, you can see what your HP is. You can't see what your hidden evasion or your hidden accuracy or your hidden
Shut
DR or
up,
any of those
dude.
other stats. So what if the whole time when you level a character, you've been getting random hidden stats, and since we can't see those, there's no outcry, so they don't have to normalize them. Why would it just be health if it was random? Like, why would it only be that one stat that was random?
Yeah. So you're saying character-based. This is the paranoia. You're saying character-based hidden evasion, like character-based hidden AP?
Bro, you got to roll 10 different characters, get them all to 61, and then do a damage test before you can, you know, decide on who your name's going to be.
Big and shiny! We got a little work for you, bud.
This just in, there's riots breaking out in Heidel and Calpheon because of this message right now.
Oh, good God.
Okay,
Potion,
we should give them...
It might be better for you. You can get to 61 pretty damn fast, yeah?
Me?
Who are you talking to?
Are you talking to me?
Potion.
I don't think you said
Potion King of getting 61.
Yeah. I've done that on every character except for Guardian because I hate that class.
So we should give them credit, though. They are, for the most part, other than the Berserker changes, I think these are actually a step in the right direction. And at the very minimum, at least they're telling us instead of hiding it all, which is huge. And we definitely need to pat them on the back for that.
I'm impressed with this, dude.
Yeah, the thing I'm most happy with this is the fact that they told us, right? I feel like for years we've been in this like mystery loop of, all right, well, there's Striker, Mystic, secret numbers, but what are they really? And like Tamer takes more magic damage for some reason, and Wizards have more accuracy for some reason. And it's like this whole mystery veil behind all of this stuff, you know? And it's nice to see kind of like the curtain pulled back a little bit, even if it is complicated as all get out. It is nice to see that. I appreciate them actually doing that and respecting the players' I guess decision to want that. I never realized I was asking for this though.
Oh, dude, right? I'm like stuck diving into these numbers right now. Like I can't stop looking
Man,
at
it's
it.
mesmerizing.
It is, dude. It really. It's just thinking about the matchups, right? Like just It's so. Like, think about where Mooses and Maywas have shredded me on my Guardian, and to know that they have like 107% combo damage. It's just like, damn. That's when they get super high AP. That extra super high AP it just blows you up. Those little numbers, those little tiny extra pieces of damage scale like crazy when you're talking about, close to damn near 500 AP, 600 AP with bonus AP brackets at 300, dude. 500 AP.
10% can be the difference between a lot of classes one comboing you, especially if you whale pots. It can be the difference for a lot of classes.
So since Moreland TV's on vacation this week, maybe I can take his mindset here a little bit and just put some constructive criticism on what's happened here. Maybe instead of it being 108.2% on witch hitting other witches and 106.4% on witches hitting other wizards, maybe they could just have a 5 or 10% buff against other staff classes, and there'd be like a little tooltip where it just went bonus or reduce damage to and from, and just have a nice, clean, easy chart per class.
Whoa!
That's not
this is BDO. I like my game
decimals.
complicated. All right,
you do this much more to gauntlets, you do this much less and gauntlets do this much less to you, and you can just like we scroll over for our crystals, it just goes, here it is.
That would be really nice to see.
And just round it off.
Look, 100%. I'm not condoning the way that they do class versus class balance, and I absolutely think it's silly that, like, even though they're showing it on the Global Lab, they for sure should show it to people in game too, right? Because 90% of players are never even going to see this. So yeah, I'm with you on that. I just think, dude, it's a step in the right direction. You know what I mean? At least they're showing it.
Agreed.
I can't say anything. I can't give any feedback on this because I'm completely. I'm ignorant. I have no idea what they're doing there. I have no clue. I think that was the best idea that I heard about this shit, though. Flat out in game, if I tax somebody, it would show a plus or minus damage or plus or minus versus them. So I would know that as I'm engaging, I'm not going to be doing as much damage as I do against somebody else. That would be really cool to see.
I used to find a special piece of paper that says I can't say anything about it. This level was it in DA? Yeah, that one.
You have? You
no,
have?
No, I haven't seen anything like that.
I used to think DK sucked when I played Striker. I had no idea that they did 60% damage. I thought Divive was garbage. I'm just 1v1ing these great DKs on Striker, and I'm like, can you do a skill? Until one day they had to like sit me next to a witch and just do like the shift Q thing, and then the witch would die, and I'd be like 80% health.
Well, they directly released Striker and Mystic as counter for DK.
Well, don't Striker and Mystic have like an in-game magic resist thing on their skill sheet somewhere?
Yeah, but it was one of the largest gaps between damage when you were a Striker and fighting DK back in the day, or even up until now. I guess APs are much higher.
Oh, yeah, when I was leveling my Mystic at Pirates, every time I had my spot taken by a DK, like the meme was like, free spot. Like even on my 200 AP Mystic, who I didn't know how to play, Dark Knights just couldn't damage me. I would just spiral torpedo and like GG. But think about how convoluted that is, though. So if you look at the sheet here, DKs actually have an increased multiplier against Striker and Mystic, even though Striker and Mystic have an in-game tooltip that says that they have magic resist. So you're getting a 30% magic resist in-game and then 20% buff hidden that you never see. It's like, why not just put it all in one spot on the tooltip? Why is it subtracted here and added here, and you only get half the info?
How long do you think you could? How long do you think you could survive in a padded room with the guy who came up with his spreadsheet before you lost your mind?
They've got to have more. There's got to be reasons. I'll give it to them. There's got to be reasons. I'm excited.
So, first step, I hope that this goes wonderful, and they're like, "Wow, the players are very receptive to this." And then the second
positive today.
The second step is I hope they remove the entire fucking thing and then start rebalancing
and accuracy.
Oh, right? Actually, okay. So wait, I was reading that part backwards. So Striker and Mystic didn't have multipliers against DK before. They had. Yes. Wait, no, yeah, they did. The DK was the one who didn't have. Dude, DK's multipliers against everyone is so low.
Super low. Yeah.
So low.
Yeah. I think if you look at this and you look at every class that's like not meta right now, think about how much more viability and actual choice these classes are going to have just off these changes.
Well, DK.
Like, look at them. Look at undesirable classes.
60%. That's almost a shy multiplier. They had 60%.
Oh my god! No, it's not.
Classes, dude. No
Are you looking at
wonder.
DK?
Yeah, no wonder.
It almost
dude.
is, yeah.
And that's on top of the magic resist thing. Like,
Oh my god.
So that's why they grind so well, right? But then fighting them is kind of monk ass.
Wow.
yeah. So I was reading it backwards. I was reading the damage strikers do to DK, not the other way around.
Right.
So they actually get reduced twice. Wow.
DK's getting some incredible buffs from this. They're getting like 15% almost across the entire board, 10 to 15% against almost every class, if not more, minimum. Except for against
You know what's crazy
Berserker.
is that like people, I would say DK is the class that universally, like even people who don't play DK for the last 2 or 3 years have been saying that's the class that needs to be buffed the most. Like Awakened Dark Knight, we've all been saying that for the longest time, and it's like, gee, I wonder why. Look at these fucking numbers.
Why can Sword do
dude.
so much damage when they have a similar kit with iframes and bopping around and
exactly.
stuff?
And even the multipliers, like even looking at the numbers in game, it didn't make any sense.
Yeah,
I
feel
think
like
that's actually really sad.
What I'd like to
against Striker and
see
Mystic.
in like maybe a year after several iterations of this is like I just look up the damage percent and be like, oh, you have 1,000, I have 800, and then I can just be like, oh, your ability is weaker, and then that's it. Maybe a number of hits.
Let me pull you guys back to a magical time
In a world
when we were watching
full of magic and wonderment.
when we were watching the Heidel Ball. Do you guys recall the #1 most played class worldwide?
Yeah.
DK.
DK.
Was it really DK?
Well,
Yeah,
the reason
DK for a long
by
time.
a good margin.
Is
How are they measuring that though? Is that
It's-
like
it's,
daily active play
people
time,
who
or is
have
that like characters
people who have
created?
created characters created. So if you create a DK, then you count. And so since DK was the most popular class release in the history of BDO, and also we had the most players playing at that time in history of BDO, at least actively
Ostensibly,
playing.
it's the most played class.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
is.
yeah. When it released, it was overpowered, right?
Yeah,
and then it became the most like bandwagon reroll class in history. I remember when DK weapons would just sit at minimum price on the market for like 30% less than other classes because everyone just rerolled off of them so hard when Striker and Mystic came out.
Well, I actually asked about this because I was really curious when they did the infographic for NA and EU. They had the infographic of most played classes, and I asked like, "Hey, how's that? How you pulling that? Like, DK is definitely not a fun class. Like, people aren't playing this, right?"
That's the thing, though. It is actually a really fun class. It just didn't do any damage.
I'm saying like nobody's playing it. Is my point, right? So how
We
are
have
you,
12
how are you measuring
DKs
it?
in Aftershock.
And so,
Okay.
actually, Kakao answered me on that and saying that this is all-time players. Is the number for that. So I actually got official confirmation on that one that the at least the NAEU one was total all-time who created the character.
Man, Leantha's going to be pretty scary after this.
I'd be careful saying that, Potion.
What? No, that's fine. I was in Discord, just messaging people.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was that an official statement?
Yo, bro, you guys make too big of deals of this. I actually like the Kakao.
It's not
people.
us. It's other people. It's not us. It's other people. Yeah, it's not us.
Clipped and reported.
Yeah, it's not us. I like them too. I just don't want to get into that.
Don't. No more lies. That's the only one you get today. All right. That's the only lie you get today. Saying you like Kakao. Nope, I don't believe you.
I like the people.
Some of them, yeah.
Some of the people.
Yeah,
Most of the people.
Okay.
I can personally like somebody and think they do a dog shit professional job.
Yeah,
That's fine.
Yeah, I guess I could do that.
Sometimes it's hand in hand. But
You're
Take a special moment to look at Shy's multipliers. This is
Why are they like
fascinating.
30%?
46.
46.52, but then against Ninja, it's 22%. Shies do half damage to ninjas that they do to every other class.
Why?
Ninja's OP. It's OP. Ninja's OP.
And then 29 against Striker and Mystic. Like even Shies, who came up with these numbers for Shy? Who is balancing Shy to begin with? Like do they even?
How long could you last in a locked room with the guy who made this who made these decisions?
I can't even like put words together looking at this. It's so fucking bizarre.
Well, what's crazy is Ninja's getting mainly buffed except for against Strikers and Mystics. That's another crazy stat.
Well, it's Awaken Ninja, which I'm not mad about.
Dude, they're 22% to Ninja and 56% to Kuna. What possible logic? Like, what possible scenario? Was one of the devs just playing Ninja and he died to a Shy in the test or something and he just freaked out?
It's got to be a joke. It's the lowest multiplier on the entire sheet.
I'd like to see the guy who made this or made the lead of the team. We'll give him that much credit. And
they're not changing these. The Shy ones are staying the same.
Yeah. 0% across the board.
I want this guy to stream for like a month.
Well, all right.
Shy's balanced. Shy's balanced.
So I bet this is watching the streamers, right?
This
so
is
they
I'm sorry,
saw
Potion.
choice.
This is the real buff that they're getting. They're gonna turn this into a fucking piano, and they're gonna be ungoddamn stoppable. A keyboard. I'm holding up my keyboard, Spotify. Sorry, go ahead, Potion.
Well, I think they're just watching the streamers, right? They watched Choice. Choice said they need Zerker buffs, so Zerker got massive buffs. They watch Laven die while stream sniping to a Shy, and so then they nerf Shy into the ground against ninjas, you know. So I mean, like, I don't know. I think that's all that's going on here. You know, it makes sense to me.
I think I've been don't. Oh my God, you were trying to raise my blood pressure.
I think it's
he's catching on. He's catching on.
I think it's a great conversation to have, dude. I'm down.
I don't actually think they're balancing based off of streamers, and if they are, why haven't they been listening to me?
Yeah, right. I think that
I think they
definitely think that they have a lot of favorites. I agree. I really think that they play favorites in this game quite a large degree.
Yeah.
Until Xbox came out, they had no idea that people streamed BDO. They had absolutely no idea.
Well, I would say that.
And then Kakao Games didn't know who we were. We all use webcams. We go to TwitchCon, and they're holding up a sign from Orland TV for the limo or something, right? And he's going to be the guy that does the entire 2018 TwitchCon thing. But yeah, are you Orland? Hi, nice to meet you.
And so. I'll throw this out there as well. I definitely think that it's good for them to create conversations and have somewhat of a dialogue with streamers about stream-related things, about community-driven things, but not about class balance. I don't think that a lot of streamers have the ability to separate like promoting their own class from actually like balancing for the sake of the entire game class balance.
I don't think they should be balancing based off of community feedback, honestly. I think that
100%.
I think it should be mostly data driven and they should just play their own game. But apparently they have data that shows them that Q buff doesn't kill enough people. So I don't know, man.
And apparently it was actually a town car. Moreland just thought it was a limo.
Yeah, so I think I totally agree. I totally agree with you though that I don't think that they can. I don't think that listening to streamers necessarily is like they're always going to pick their own class almost every single time.
Everyone will.
Yeah,
I'm vertically challenged, not horizontally. That doesn't even make sense.
It's just so big. It's just so big. Like, oh, a limo.
We're talking about class balance, okay?
I don't read the topics 1 week, and this is what happens.
This is what happens. Talk to my chair. I think that and this is to piggyback off of the same thing I've been talking about with the library, right? The BDO library. That you can genuinely have the greatest intentions possible and poll a large percentage of players, and that feedback may not do damn near anything along the lines of someone with and obviously this is a terrible argument right now because we don't know what the other side is doing at all, but just having that data and having players have an effect on it or saying that this is what players think should not necessarily correlate to having those exact changes be put into the game. I think it's definitely something that should be considered, but it should not be the main determining factor between
definitely
what happens with the freaking class, dude.
I think one thing that this
I don't know.
I think one thing that this podcast is actually really giving me perception on is that we all have very different views. We're similar, we're friends, we've hung out, we've talked, all this stuff. But we all have such different perceptions and perspectives of this game. And that if you really just, if streamers go, why don't you just do this? Why don't you just do this? We do that shit all the time, right? But that's just
everybody does
not
that.
Outside of capping siege mercs, it's just not a fucking good idea. It just really isn't. Collecting data, getting some playtesting in, and then I think the BDO library is a good idea because you take a kind of a mass opinion, so they can at least go, it's impossible for us to know these things. So it gives them another kind of look into the rabbit hole. I don't know. It gives them another perception.
The biggest thing that the library is doing is it's taking the temperature of the community in different classes. But even to give that data, present that data in a way to a decision maker, they have to be able to extrapolate data from the data that they're being given. So if it's just, hey, 85% of Musas think
it's metadata.
This. Yeah. So 85% of Mooses, and I'm not good with numbers and averages, percentages, but 85% of X players think that they need buffs. Well, what's their gear score? How long they've been playing? What level are they? What do they participate in?
So this is basically, I think there's a bigger topic here to be had on the discussion of like game balance and stuff, right? So ultimately, I think the analogy I'm going to go with is an artist, right? Video games, I think, are an art at their core, right? And so if you compare this to a painter, right? Do you have to tell a painter what to paint? Maybe he has a day where he doesn't have a lot of inspiration, right? And then he doesn't know where to take it. He doesn't know where to go, right? And then in that case, right, which is definitely Pearl Abyss all the way, then you got to ask somebody, right? What do you think I should draw, right? And who are you going to ask if you have to ask somebody, right? You don't want to ask random people off the street, probably. You probably want to ask somebody who's an artist, right? Or somebody who is like more knowledgeable. So who's more knowledgeable than average Redditor? Streamers, right? YouTubers.
God.
Maybe the library. Right, maybe the library, and I think
conversation.
I think that the Reddit already hates me. It's fine.
That guy walking on the street.
Yeah, so I think
my cat.
Somebody who died in 1924.
So I think that my
cat.
My point on all this is that I think they're challenged to. I think they should be figuring out what they should be doing with their game, right? That should not be us. But if they can't do it and they have no other way to doing it, then at least turning to us for something is better than not doing anything and just spinning their tires. I feel like they spent their tires in BDO for 2 years not knowing where to take the game, and I feel like just recently they started going in a direction a little bit, right? And maybe that's not the perfect direction, but it's definitely better than what we've been going for the last 2 or 3 years, in my opinion.
I need to distance myself from part of that statement there. I'm just a gamer with a webcam. I don't think that I'm more intelligent. I think that I'm distracted by weirder parts of this game because I'm a streamer or a YouTuber. So I think the average idiot that never types or uses a microphone, average player that never uses a microphone is just solely focused on playing the game. It is almost certainly more knowledgeable about this game than I am because I'm focused on so many different weird things. And so I think it's I don't know if you can go, a streamer or YouTuber has more information.
Let me clarify. How are you supposed to go and look through millions of players, right? And then decide which one of those are more apt, right? As a streamer, you can just watch their stream and know if they're an idiot or not, right? And that can be kind of self-explanatory. And, as a streamer, they're playing the game a crap ton, right? And they're getting all that feedback from their community, and they can filter.
I make it look like I play it a lot, but I really didn't.
You can.
We know you're bad, though, right?
You can filter the bullshit, right? You can filter the bullshit, and I don't think it's a perfect scenario, right? But it's way better than them spinning their wheels, right? And that's my only point.
What he's saying is it doesn't necessarily have to be like, yo, let's get everybody's data, but there are definitely personalities that people can all agree upon, know the shit that they're talking about a certain class. Like there are, like, we could say Nayashi is badass at X. Like, we know that, players know that from open world experiences on my streams, other streams, their streams, like community feedback, tournaments, like we know X player is good at X. And I'm just using that as one example because it's not like a large scale meta class. You know what I mean? It's a specific example. Like those would be people that I would want to give relevant feedback about competitive gameplay, about their class in a conversation or a dialogue with somebody that was trying to balance or scale a game. Not me, flat out, not me.
Yeah, I get that. Man, that was one hell of a topic. I'm not even sure how. Oh, that was all started because of stats on the global labs. All right, yes.
Moreland
Wow.
was smiling and
Dude.
laughing, and he was really involved, so it took off.
Only one correction. I guess I had the wrong Archer values for some reason. Someone posted me a different spreadsheet, so I'm trying to like reference this to the actual global patch notes. I don't know if one of them got changed or if the original spreadsheet they just put the wrong Archer numbers in, but I have different numbers for Archer, and they are interesting. Archers are going to hit large scale classes way harder, and they're going to
Can you
hit
put that into Discord too?
yeah, and they're going to hit a lot of melee classes for less. Some classes, they're going to hit Warrior, Sork, Tamer, and Mystic for a lot less, and they're going to hit everyone else for more, for the most part. And they're going to hit Witch, Wizard, and Guardian for a ton more.
Archers hit Guardian for more? Well,
Yeah,
it's been low.
I'm
So
okay with that.
yeah, it's been low.
Today's
Today's with
my-
any changes they make about Guardian, like it's all good, like whatever they think is best.
Today's my first stab at large scale with Guardian.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're gonna get like
I'm gonna-
50 kills.
I'm gonna use you as the example of like not everybody that plays Guardian can just instantly clap and be top kills. You know what I'm saying? Like there actually takes a little bit of knowledge involved to actually pop the fuck off.
Yeah, except for I'm dog shit at this game, so
So I almost wish I could just buy coupons and just roll a Guardian real quick and just prove that wrong. I guarantee you I get more than 0 kills. Guaranteed. That's why I've done the last
But
3 times.
that's not proving everybody wrong though, Potion.
More than zero.
if you swap to Guardian, you can outkill me. If you can outfrag me, then that would be proving it wrong.
I need more DP. I have fucking suppression gear, bro.
Yeah. Yikes! Yikes! So do we have one more thing to talk about today, or are we still? Do you guys still want to talk about this?
Yeah, I think we have. I think that's about it for the BDO stuff.
I lost my phone.
So I think the next topic is talking about the new console generation. What are your thoughts on that?
Demon Souls.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god. That was the only thing that I paid attention to this entire week was that PS5 and the Xbox X were the big news. What is it? Yesterday or the day before? And that Demon Souls was getting remade instead of remastered, which is fucking incredible news for console and the next gen of console gamers. So I love console games. So this is like, I did a sweaty amount of research. I want to hear what you guys have to say, and then I'll like TLDR. So
Demon Souls is the only Souls game I haven't played. I've been waiting because there's been rumors of a remaster for like 5 years. I've been waiting for so long. They're finally doing it. I might buy a PS5 just to play that game.
I've never played any of those games before, but the friends that I have in the industry and colleagues of mine that have played, they're going crazy. They're actually going crazy about Demon Souls getting remastered. Like they're going nuts. I know there's a huge fan base, an incredibly passionate following.
So for me, consoles are. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Potion.
No, go ahead.
For me, consoles are. I've had a weird. I've been a lifelong PC gamer, always, but I've always had most of the consoles too. And what I've enjoyed is back in the day, there used to be, you had PlayStation, it had its own games. You had, Sega Genesis, it had its own games and platformers and stuff. And there was a lot of fun between all of that. And now there's so much crossover. I think it was really just the Xbox One and PS4 were to me, the exclusive games started really mattering. And they started sinking their teeth into them. What's that? The girl with the bow and the robot.
Horizon.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
That was one of the best games I've played in a long time.
It's getting a sequel. It's getting another one.
I know. I don't know how I feel about sequels, but there's a couple games out there that really just kind of resonated with me that just don't show up on PC at all. And so I hate to be one of those fanboys, but I really just look at and it's hard at the release because they kind of sell you a pot of shit, when they're announcing it, when the games come out and stuff like that. So I'm waiting to see as more information, more time comes out. I normally just buy one at a time. Rumor has it they're going to be $500 each.
Probably.
It's pretty standard for the way that the game market's been going.
Yeah.
Well, they bounce around, right? I think Xbox, when it was released, was $399 or $499. Xbox One.
I think
And
500
$4.99.
with inflation makes sense.
Before that, PlayStation 3 was $599. Remember that?
Bro, it was like $7.99, and then people freaked out, and they're like, "All right, we were just kidding." I just
It was $699 for a bigger hard drive. You know, so it was And so I need more information. They convolute the specs on it, you know, as far as a PC Master Race guy, so you can't really tell, even though you know when something has static hardware, they can optimize for it better and stuff like that. Personally, I'd like to see BDO run way better on console, but I just don't know if it's going to be enough.
Well, I think their obvious plan for that is to release their new game, right, for console. And then BDO, if it does okay, it will probably get ported, right? And it'll probably be better, better than it
for
is
sure.
now.
They're going to be using the
100%. Yeah,
100%.
it's going to be huge for BDO, console, and
is still a
PC.
really successful market,
Yeah.
and like we ignore it as PC players, but it's like 15 or 20% of their revenue. Like it's
It's a lot.
Big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On release, it was like 30, but after that, it's gone down. If you look at the quarterly
It's
earnings
still
reports,
like definitely something they're investing and paying attention to, though.
absolutely,
I think
it makes them money.
Yeah, I'm just hoping they're learning lessons from it, right? So that when they come out with their new game, Crimson Desert, that it will have none of the problems that BDO did on console.
I think that the main thing to draw from a lot of the Crimson Desert information at this point is that they have been developing the game at to be released at console level first. Yeah. So it's going to be made at console so that it can come out on PC and it can come out on mobile all immediately, which is already a huge change in like distribution of the game and how it hits players' hands.
Well,
so
it'll be a new gen title, probably exclusive. It'd be my guess, right?
Do you think this is what we've been waiting for to get Elder Scrolls 6?
It'll be their excuse to make it for sure.
Yeah, 100%. So
I'm excited for that.
I'm a huge console gamer fan of consoles. Talking about like the difference between PC and console games. Like my whole life, it's been video games for me have been going to your homie's house and grabbing a fucking controller. That's video gaming. That's playing video games. PC gaming is a separate thing that is also fun, but like I want to play video games, playing PlayStation 1, Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo, like all the classics, you know what I mean? Like Mario, Sonic the Hedgehog, Streets of Rage, Virtua Fighter on Sega Genesis, you know, Mortal Kombat, you know what I mean? Like all the games, you know what I mean? Like, dude, like the games. Dude, well, that's Atari, what is it, 4700, whatever. So you talk about PlayStation, Nintendo 64, Donkey Kong World, Super Mario World, Legend of Ocarina of Time, Dreamcast, Sonic Adventure, right? PlayStation, Spyro.
Dude, you are.
I had everything.
Oh man,
13 Dreamcast that sold in North America.
I know.
No.
Dreamcast.
I loved it too.
Man.
You could get the little Tamagotchi thing in the Sonic game in the memory card.
Yeah,
that shit was lit.
Yeah. It was awesome. Yeah, it was really cool.
I
never played that.
No, dude, I'm all over this shit. Love. So then you look at PlayStation 2, you look at Xbox.
Got the Tamagotchi and the Dreamcast boys, the Mario brothers, and I got all of them video games.
Is this your Joe impression?
Oh
no. Oh. So when Microsoft entered the arena,
it was a game changer.
It is
Mech Warrior.
Literally a game changer. Microsoft realized that they were missing out on such a huge portion of the actual business of the gaming industry that they decided to create their own console from fucking scratch to compete with other consoles, literally putting Sega out of the console business economy in general. They put them out of business. They stopped making fucking consoles. They just stopped doing it at that point in time. A crazy turn of events. For me, looking at the way that the video game industry has changed at that point in time, it's been consoles fighting over console exclusive development as like the biggest draw from console to console to console. Nintendo's got its own IP and it's got all those games. Sony's got its own IP and all those games. Xbox has got its developing in new IPs, but the more games you can say is a PlayStation exclusive or an Xbox exclusive drives those fans to their GameStops to buy, yo, I want that Demon Souls because it's on PlayStation. That's the industry of the economy of the console market, which is awesome. I love that.
And it's literally really Halo made Xbox. It literally made it.
It was that competition. They said we need games. We need to make good games so that this console sells. And that's I really feel like we're getting into that serious next generation. Look at the title lineup of the Xbox X. Have you seen it? It's like there's like nothing recognizable. It's all fucking brand new IP.
I mean, that's been like that for a while, right? That's why PlayStation outsells Xbox by like 4 times or something.
Well, hold on. So Horizon was a landmark for PlayStation, right? It was literally one of the reasons I bought one. And the point I was going to make is how many Gran Turismos, how many Forzas, how many Halos, how many what the fuck ever they always release with these just uninspired drivel that comes out every single fucking Madden 2029 see the future stars like. And I'm no disrespect to Madden people, right? You know, we have our vices, you guys have your vices, but what if we just like shave? What if they just took I like seeing that Xbox is taking a risk with their IPs because these IPs get old. Nintendo can get away with it because of the nostalgia, and their original inventions were fucking insane. And real gamers, boomer gamers, dig into that just the same way that newer, like every kid knows who Mario is. They're just insane IPs. Now with Xbox and PS4, I don't know, maybe step out of the fucking box every once in a while. I like to hear that that's what's happening with Xbox because it's getting fucking stale quick.
Well, they literally have to step out of the box because they have no what is an Xbox exclusive? Halo? Like what are they?
Forza and Halo carry them.
Yeah, no one's buying an Xbox for exclusives. Whereas PS5, I mean, like I bought even a PS4. I bought a PS4 for Bloodborne. Like just that one game alone, 100%, I would buy a console just for that game. And, you know, God of War did that for a lot of people too. You know, that was one of the most just phenomenal games ever made.
Final
and that
Fantasy
was a
7
PS4 exclusive. Like, exactly. The Final Fantasy 7 remake, even though it took, 10 extra years to come out, like a lot of people bought PS4s for that. Microsoft has to do something new at this point. They got to reestablish themselves. I mean, Nintendo, I don't even think it's all nostalgia with Nintendo. They legitimately still have like the Mario games are still really good. The Zelda games, Breath of the Wild was fucking insane.
Incredible.
Like, they're still putting it out.
Okay, well, it'd been 10 years since they came out with a good Zelda game, to be fair. So before Breath of the Wild.
Was Majora's Mask that bad?
Might have been 10 years. Yeah.
Ocarina of Time was the last good Zelda game before Breath of the Wild.
I thought people loved Majora's Mask.
Seasons Pass was really good on the DS. Or whatever that was.
I'm sorry, I don't play mobile games.
Yeah, the mobile ones were good. Twilight Princess was good. Skyward Sword I kind of skipped, and then I don't even remember the name of the other one.
Yeah, Twilight Princess I would say was like okay. It wasn't necessarily a home run. Wasn't bad though.
I really liked Twilight Princess.
It was
the
fun.
coolest things for me with the next gen consoles. I think TLDR is. I love that Xbox is and developers are designing for. Like new console games for Xbox. I love to see it. I'm a big Sony fanboy, so I gotta go with the you know what I mean. I'm a PlayStation homie, dude. So seeing all those exclusives and those next gen games coming to the console is like I'm very, very excited. Gaming wise, I'm gonna play my PlayStation games, but if you're talking about actual console gaming quality of life, the haptic feedback on the DualSense is a really interesting new feature that the controller is going to have. And if you haven't looked that up, it's the R1 and R2 or L2 and R2. You're basically going to be able to feel like as I'm drawing an arrow back and shooting it, there's going to be more pressure in that trigger. So I'm going to have to pull it harder.
Force feedback.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Oh my God. They said they were going to be able to change the vibration of the different...
Can you imagine a gun, like shooting a gun in a game?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Different guns are going to have different pressures on them.
So you'll feel it, it goes click, and it'll actually click.
Yes, dude.
That's
when
actually
are they going to come out with a full body haptic suit that I can wear while I'm gaming?
They have it. They're developing it, dude. They're actually developing it. You're going to be able to feel impact. Oh, yes, you can Google it right now, bro. Dude, it's happening. It's the future of video games. It's coming.
Can it make me feel like I got stabbed or shot?
I don't think we're gonna go that
Maybe
far,
it's
but
like
it'll
a
be like
brain
spent in an area. Yeah.
Depends on how fatal you want it to be. All right.
Is it like Star Trek holodecks where we can take the safety features off? When you die in Dark Souls, you die in real life.
If you die in the game, you die in real life.
I'm just saying, have you guys seen that Black Mirror episode where they play the Street Fighter game?
Oh,
I
that
haven't
was.
seen that.
Nope. Yep, I've seen
Okay.
it. That's.
I like to
You should
sleep
go
at
watch
night
it.
more. Than-
Oh my gosh, that was such a mind fuck, man. Oh, why did you remind me of that?
Yeah, Potion's gone from this
literally,
conversation now.
literally, the director said, "I'm not making any more Black Mirror because the world's too fucked up right now." That's actually what he said. I'm not making any more
Good
because
Yeah,
man.
he
it's too.
can't make anything that's weirder than real life, so you gotta put it on.
Next episode's just going to be an hour of CNN.
Oh boy. But yeah, I'm excited for next gen console. I think next gen console is going to be really cool. It's Ryzen 7 3700. Both of them, which is great for console. You're actually talking about console. You know what I mean? Like they're approaching the bare bones like value PC economy, the value PC market in terms of what they're actually capable of doing. And when you're thinking about like what you can just buy a console and plug it in your house for the next 5 years or whatever, you're going to be able to get a lot of game out of that.
Well, that's been sort of how it's been every time they released a console, right? They released the PS4 and the new
That's exactly
Xbox,
right.
and it was like cutting edge, like better than
Yeah.
PCs. And then like 2 years later, PCs just like edged them out a little bit, and
Let's not be naive
We're
here.
several
Hold
years
on.
down the road now.
PCs, are they?
I have
the hard
an-
drive. The hard drive is 100% better than it will be better than all of our current hard drives in our PC.
What makes? I mean, hard drives are pretty damn good already. What makes it better? It's just slightly
the-
faster.
It
It's
reads and writes 5 to 20 times faster than current SSDs.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we're not
it's-
going to get the PS4 loading screens for Bloodborne that take like 5 to 6 minutes.
Right. The
None of that.
NEME is
Good, actually.
insane.
That's very
Yeah.
good.
It's
Yeah.
insane. I have an Xbox One X here. I have an Xbox One S over there. And I think I gave one of my old friends my original Xbox One. So it's not like you buy a PS5 and it sits there for 5 years and you're happy. It's, turns out there's, when Xbox One came out, I had 590 GTXs in my computer.
You're not the average consumer though. That's very different than.
And now there's
consumer.
2080 Ti's, you know. I know that's not the average consumer, but
value wise, I think that's what consoles are, right? Like it's more bang for your buck, but I don't think they've ever been better than PC. That seems a little silly to me. Like
I've
the
never
only
said
well,
that.
reason
they're
that I'm
struggling
buying
to
a
keep
console-
up.
Yeah, the only reason I would ever buy a console is for the exclusives. If I have the option to play a game on PC, I'm playing it on PC 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically,
Which actually brings me to I wanted to ask you guys what you think about this. So I've been saying when it comes to Xbox, since Microsoft has been getting crushed by PS4 anyways, what if they just started making all Xbox games accessible on Windows 10? They wouldn't sell as many consoles, but they would sell way more games, right? What do you guys think about that?
They're doing that
great for the games,
with
bad for the
Windows
console.
10X. Windows 10X. And their plan is to make
Well, they're doing it
all.
with some games, but I haven't seen anything to indicate they're doing it with all games. Like I can't play BDO Xbox on my PC. And I
Well,
would
yeah,
love to be able to.
they-
It would
they
actually
really-
make sense.
You can stream it, but
The original
Right.
plan with
You can-
Xbox 360 was to make it where everybody is forced to go to console. You have to go to console to play our games. And then they kind of had this in-between moment with this last couple generations, and they're like, Steam's making a lot of money. And so then they're like, all right, we have all these games, and so they've been launching let's call it the Xbox Game Series Pass. And you buy it, and you get like 200 games that work both on PC and on Xbox. And I do think they're working on that. Is it there right now? Perfectly? No, not yet. Like
I almost feel like they're purposely holding certain games out of that to continue to force people to buy the actual consoles. And I don't know if that's the best
possible.
idea.
No, definitely.
one of the biggest things companies are afraid of is cannibalizing their products with new products. Is they want to make sure that when they come out with a product that there's incremental sales from it. And so I think it's almost altruistic for them to offer cross-platform playing like that, because it will 100% hurt the sales of consoles. Now, what we don't know, or what I have very little information on, is that generally the consoles are built to be loss leaders. So you do buy the games and the accessories and all that stuff that is a higher profit margin. But in general, it's really just a revenue stream. I don't know what I think they just lose money on these fucking consoles. And that's why they go, hey, it's going to be $600. And everyone goes, ah! And they go, okay, it'll be $400. It'll be $400. Please buy our games and controllers. Right. So I think that's where the holdback on this has been, is cannibalize. If you're a gamer and you got a PC, why the fuck would you buy an Xbox if you could just buy the games on your PC? Why would you buy the controllers?
You would buy the games is the thing. Like, I'm never going to buy an Xbox. Yeah, I'm not going to buy whatever the next gen Xbox is, unless there's like an exclusive. If there's a new fresh start on BDO, I'll buy it for that. But outside, that's the only thing that got me to buy this last Xbox, was the fact that it's the only chance that I had to play a fresh BDO server. That's a pretty monumental sales pitch. But outside of something astronomical like that, I'm never going to buy a fucking Xbox under any circumstances. So that means I'm never going to buy any of the games either. But if they allow me to buy the games on PC, I bought Sea of Thieves, there's games that I'll play on PC for sure.
Yep. You're literally explaining the brainstorming process of how Microsoft is going to be attacking the PC player base and console player base over the next our current business economy. It is 100% going to sell more games for PC players, PC gamers, to be able to buy Xbox games and play them on PC, but it could affect console sales. So I think in general, the whole reason why Microsoft even came into this arena was because they want a slice of the pie. They want
take a market share. Yeah,
exactly. Mm-hmm. They want to just dive in to get what they believe they deserve so that they can sell games. You have to sell consoles to be able to sell games.
Well, Microsoft as a company, this is basically all they've ever done, right? Google came up with Google Search, they make Bing, right? You have
they just take share. They buy success.
Yeah, it's look, you have iPads. We're gonna have the Windows tablet, right?
Surface.
We're gonna have Google phones. Now we're gonna have Windows phones, which failed, obviously. We have Amazon's gonna have a streaming service. We're gonna make our own streaming service. And the thing is that most of those have been monumental failures across the board.
True.
And the only ones that have truly been impressive, in my opinion, are really the console market and obviously Windows for PC. Those have been the best.
Well, I mean, Windows came to fruition through. Was there an operating? It was DOS was before Windows, right? So Windows was their one good idea that they've had, and they've just been buying into everything else. Mm-hmm. Netscape was the first Internet Explorer, right? I'm sure somebody could do some dirty research, but off the top of my head, that was the big company in the 90s.
That was the first, web browser.
Right, so then it's built into our operating system, all that kind of stuff. So they've just been using a great operating system or a good operating system. I don't want to anger anybody, and then just using that money to. I mean, it hasn't been. There isn't a better example of their business model than Mixer, right? Where anytime you see anybody on Twitter going, announcement soon, who's not a professional gamer, all the comments on Twitter are, oh my god, Mixer, and then 12 hours later, we're going to Mixer, boys, and they pay these guys $1 to $12 million to kill their stream to go on that sinking fucking ship. It's insane, but it is exactly to your point, Potion Shop, and to make it even better, that is exactly their business model. And when you have that much money, you can make this much profit and all's good.
Yep.
Well, what's kind of interesting is that I have a friend who works at Microsoft, and internally they think that Mixer's doing well, apparently.
They don't understand, dude. This is a whole other conversation.
Don't say that when I'm drinking, dude. What the fuck?
God. Oh my god. I don't want. I could go off on this forever, dude.
So, all right, I can tell you exactly why, right? Because they're looking purely at data, and they're not looking at feelings, right? This is exactly what Probus is doing. They look at data, and then they don't look at the feelings of things, right? And so they look at data like, oh, look, we gained players because we made the game cheaper, and we added the new Guardian class, and blah, 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 and it looks good, right? and Microsoft says, "Hey, look, we hired these streamers for $100 billion or whatever it was, right?" And then it's like, "Hey, look, we gained 1% market share. Wow, it worked." But they don't realize that they're all going to leave when those streamers leave again, right?
Exactly. So that's the thing is they decided, they said, hey, if we look at the business model of Twitch and we are selling ad space on X volume of viewership, if we just pay those guys, we can sell X ad space for the time that they're on these streams right now off the rip and make our business. Like, they might be making great money, but they don't have a product that's in the blood of the gaming community.
I can't imagine they're making good money. Do you think they're getting that Shroud money back?
I think you don't understand how much money Twitch makes in advertising, which would lead me to maybe continue that with Mixer.
So all right, so they have 3% of the market share, right?
Where does it go?
They have 3% of the market share roughly, right? So I mean,
I also don't know if we should necessarily talk about Mixer all day. It was a bit of a tangent.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Last thing I want to say about Xbox is that I love that Xbox is so important into the console economy right now. It's so fucking important because it's the last competition for Sony. And there is no other company that is like going up head to head in.
You don't think Switch is competing with? You don't think some people definitely went with like the handhelds?
They're separate. That's like the.
You're either going to buy.
Nintendo's not making a console that's going to be better than Xbox and PlayStation 5.
And they own it, which is great. So you're either going to buy a Switch or you're not. And then you decide, do you buy an Xbox or a PS4?
They've made themselves integral to another avenue of gaming. Yes.
Yep, they're in a niche on their own.
Yeah. They made the niche for themselves, which is really
pretty intentional, right? Like
they were trying to find it with a Wii, and I think they really have figured it out with the Switch. All these iterations of the fucking Wii that came out were just pretty. They were inspired, but not executed well. And now we've got the Switch, and it makes sense. It was the right console for the right company at the right time, and I'm excited to see where they go from there. Not necessarily that we need a Switch 2 or anything, but I'd be willing to bet money we wouldn't see like a Switch U Wii ISTP. It'd just be like Switch 2, a little more horsepower, a little nicer screen, same games. So, port over your fine. You know how many times I have bought? You know how many times I've bought Mario 64 on a Nintendo console? Please, the next console that comes out, port over my OG game so I don't have to spend $100 on the shit games that I want to have on there and look at but not play. Thank you. Fuck.
So the last thing that I do want to say about console is
sorry.
You're good. The reality of the space that game companies have to create games right now, it's kind of wild in how much freedom and what the next level of console games is going to be. If you look at PlayStation 4, PlayStation Pro or whatever to Xbox One S, and how much better those were than PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, it's like, I don't know, this is like very average and I'm not good at that, you know me, but like 3 to 4 times as powerful. Like, honestly, it is a console that is like 3 to 4 times as powerful as PlayStation 4 and the last generation. And that's like, if you average down and keep it really low, there's some things that are much more powerful than that.
Like for the gamer, other than reduced load times, are they going to be doing 4K resolution? Like, what's actually going to feel different about these?
All right, so the main thing is for like BDO is you're not going to have the loading of textures and stuff like that, where you're not going to run into invisible walls. Right, that would be for BDO in particular on console. Those would basically disappear.
Like selling point though, right? There's got to be more than that.
It's going to dramatically improve the BDO console on PS4 and Xbox for sure. It's going to bring it up to a place where it might be able to compete on the PC level, which brings cross-play into the argument. It brings it into that discussion. But you're talking about like listen, when you bring it,
I don't want to fight against those wallets, dude. Those console boys fucking swipe hard. They don't have Cafras. They don't have Cafras, and they outgear me. I'm scared of that. No crossplay. No crossplay.
So the reality of the console market is, I think, driving towards 4K 60 FPS on a badass TV. Like just that's the experience that they want. They want a consumer to spend $600, 4K 60 FPS, instead of having to spend $2,000 on the 4K 60 FPS or 120 FPS scenario that PC can create for you. Because realistically, to the human eye, 60 and 120, even though I know I can see it, there is a big difference between 60 and there is it's
I can't see.
You're not supposed to be able to see the difference between 60 and 120, but
4K gaming is such a fucking dumb idea at such a huge level.
It's not going to happen. That's what they're shooting for the future.
Somebody needs to tell them that they're going to have to hold back graphics and all these things constantly. They'll always be behind the curve because that resolution is fucking ridiculous to play games in. Anybody who's PC gaming on a 4K monitor, you either got a ton of fuck you money or you don't know what 1440p is.
Can't the Xbox do that right now already though?
Yeah, Xbox now can do
like Halo 4K,
kind of 30 FPS, but it's garbage.
But you look at all these smoothed over textures and terrible details, and they sacrifice so much to be able to hit those buzzwords, and it's fine. Buzzwords sell things.
That's
it's
current
a
generation.
Business.
This is
great.
This is three to 5 times better than what we're currently playing.
And then it'll slip back. It's so much bandwidth, man, to keep up with.
I think that we need to really be excited about these games. Like this is, if you look at this, look at the stuff that's possible, dude. Like what's possible right now is wild, but what's coming is very powerful. And I think it's gonna be very cool. I think it's gonna be very, very cool. I know the games for me, like I'm playing God of War right now. I'm playing God of War on a normal PlayStation 4. And
it looks good. I was surprised.
When you talk about design, I'll say this about 2 different games. Final Fantasy VII and God of War do a very good job of allowing it to feel natural. When you're going through those, I have to go through a really tiny space here that's secretly loading the next area, but I'm actually just sneaking through it, right? So that shit, it's ready. It's there. The next thing is coming, and it's not going to feel like you're, crawling through the crawl space so that they can load the shit that's coming up next. That 1 minute time of you're climbing the fucking ladder to your next zone.
Wow, they fooled me on that. I never put that together.
Yeah,
Dark Souls is the same thing. That's why all the doors open so slowly in that game. Yep. Whenever you turn a wrench or something, and the door's like.
They've been doing that for a long time. They did it back in Halo. That's why you had to always take the fucking elevator every single time.
My mind's just blown. I thought it was just a. It's 18 hours of gameplay, and it's 2 hours of elevators. I thought that's what they were doing.
So it's allowing the console player to immerse themselves even more closely into the story and the characters that they already know and love. So when I pick up that controller and I'm getting haptic feedback and I'm pulling my bow back and it's talking to me and it's listening to me at the same fucking time and it's vibrating off the different, the surfaces that I'm driving on in Forza and whatever it is, like that experience is enjoyable as fuck, dude. I think it's going to be very cool. And it's bringing that perception to reality a lot closer.
I enjoy strong vibrations too. Strong vibrations in
your lap. Yeah.
I don't necessarily care if the controller vibrates, but I do like the fact that I can play games laying down on console.
It's huge, dude. Oh, man. It feels so good to just relax and play a game and not have to be like prone with the hands up, like dug deep and hunched over all the time.
You're a good salesman, Joe.
It's in the blood, baby.
So I want to thank our sponsors today, the Sony and who else?
Yeah. Thank you, Sony.
That was a really big paycheck. I appreciate that.
Raid, Shadow Legends, Ryzen.
Raid, Shadow Legends.
Pearl Abyss.
Ryzen. Mixer. Someone in chat says
Mixer.
Oh, man. That's good. That's good. That's good.
We're 2 hours on the dot. Shall we roll it out?
Man.
Yeah, sure.
I got nothing else. I think
that's about it. I think we did a good job making that 2 hours. I was a little concerned, honestly.
Nah, dude, I'm never scared.
We got tangents, dude. We got tangents.
Never scared, man.
You never shut up, Potion. How could it not be 2 hours?
Whoa!
You little giggle box.
Just because it's true doesn't mean you have to say it. Oh, gosh.
How could you say something so controversial yet so true?
I'm so happy I changed my shirt.
Chat was asking about Last Oasis. I'll say something briefly since we've talked about it, since it's kind of been a running thing. Last Oasis is kind of hurting right now. Their Steam numbers are down, and the large scale meta has turned into a queue simulator as clans purposely cap out tiles so that other people have to get stuck in a queue instead of PvPing. A large part of this just has to do with the fact that, you know, there's a zerg of players from China who have 10,000 members and they can cap out tiles, and that's just how it is. So a really kind of stale meta has emerged as a result, because they've literally conquered all of China and now they're moving over to other regions. So I think they have a significant updates in the works that hopefully will address some of those things. Last Oasis is one of the few games where I actually think that the developers are like conscious enough and paying enough attention where they can address root problems in the game instead of just throwing band-aid fixes at it. So I'm hopeful, but unfortunately the game in the last like week or two, I would say has hit a pretty rough spot. So that's kind of where it's at.
Yeah, I was actually looking at Rust for comparison, and they did almost the exact same thing. They had a lot more initial velocity going into it, but they went down to about 6K, where Last Oasis had about half the initial velocity, right? And it went down to about 3K. So honestly, they were right in par, and Rust is doing phenomenal nowadays. So I think long as they hit those interesting milestones that keep people like coming back to the game to, whoa, what was that new update? Like, let me try that out, you know? I think that they can really bring it back, right? Like right now I'm playing the game and I can see the potential in this game, right? And I saw that in BDO and they did nothing with it. But I feel like developers here are really, you know, taking the steps to bring it to the next area every single time, right? And I'm hopeful for them. I'm very, very hopeful. I've had some awesome PvP recently, but it's mainly just because everybody hates us, and so they all pick on us. So I've had a lot of PvP. I had my base raided 3 times in like 8 hours. I just was constantly just like, get off my base, get out of here. And it's like then they're like bring back a dinghy and like 8 more people. I'm like, hey, get out of here, bro. And then I had everybody spawn on my base. Then all my gear's gone. I'm like, where's all my gear? Like what has happened? So I spent the next 3 hours building my gear back. Then they're back again with 2 dinghies, and there's like 20 of them flying around my base and all this shit. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like
donating so much loot to our enemies, and then
we took it all back. We took
You're
it
a
all
spy.
back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we took it all back. We had a blast, though, man. This has been nonstop. They burned 2 of our warships today, and then we went over to the Chinese clan. We burned like 5 of theirs. I started off today. I was like, "How am I supposed to stream?" I was like, I'm in the middle of the fight. Like, all right, turn off the screen for right now because I can't see they can't see our mega ships out, you know. And I got it.
Chinese guild probably aren't stream sniping you, so.
Oh yeah, I mean, I have no idea. There's people who recognize me from BDO, and they're in our clan, and they're like, "Oh, Potion's over here today." I'm like, so I don't talk in clan chat anymore. I don't tell people where I'm at. I'm just like, I don't do anything anymore. But I've been whipping some ass in this game. I'm not good yet. Like, if you're actually good,
you're not
like
streaming any of it though.
Oh no way. I gotta actually be halfway decent at PvP so I can actually start because. Once
I'm dubstep PvP highlight reel on YouTube.
Yeah, please record it, dude.
I have so much recordings right now. It's great. I'm going to make a
good.
I'm going to make a whole thing of
Yeah,
it.
good. I know you're going to kick ass with that. For me, dude, one of the crazy things is I tried to like stay as skeptical as possible with Last Oasis, and I came into this thing expecting nothing from this game. And there's so much stuff that the game's actually doing right. Like, I don't even think that most people aren't even thinking about the game, but people who are thinking about the game, I think it's way too early to judge it based off of numbers because it's early freaking access, dude. The things that the company is doing in this period of time is setting them up for huge success in the future that a lot of games that we already currently play aren't doing. So that's a very refreshing thing, and you can tell from Potion's passion, like there's a lot of fun content. Like there's a lot of fun content.
Yo, if you guys know King of Sand, he's in here, bro. He's in here, and he's tearing up.
Is he really?
Bro, he is annihilating people. If the King of Sand, you know, bro, he's in here.
His local chat must just be insane. The
bro,
shit that he
it's just full caps, just paragraphs of this shit, bro.
he's pasting all of his conspiracy theories.
Yo, you better come on. Hey, Yo, I want to gape you, bro. Come on in here. You better bring some more. Is that it? Oh my gosh, I'm burning your shit.
Bring your cloud people.
I'm burning everything you got. I'm taking it all. It's 24/7, bro. It's awesome. I love it. So I've been trying to get a little better on my PvP skills. I want to make it where the average stream sniper I can whip up on by the time I start streaming it a lot, right? And so that's my goal right now. And so far, I've been doing pretty good with the average non-stream sniper, but the average stream sniper is definitely a higher quality than these plebs that I'm facing right now. Oh, they're not much higher, but I'm very low. All right, so like, this blocking and attacking is pretty substantial for me at this point. All right.
1v1 balance until your eyes bleed, dude.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah, bro. He'll mess me up.
Balance will train you.
Yeah.
Yeah, balance is real good, dude. He's surprised the hell out of me.
I killed him on my first try, but I also beat Moreland in every Shadow Arena tournament that we participated in together.
You just beat other people.
What's going on with Shadow Arena? Can we just have like
I got more
a
points
quick
than you.
second? Like on Shadow
I'm playing
Arena?
next week.
Next week. I actually, I'm speaking of actual sponsors. Shadow Arena, I'll be doing some sponsored streams over the next few weeks. They seem to be taking feedback pretty seriously. Like part of the sponsorship, I have to fill out this the actual questionnaire, and a lot of it seems to be focused on like desync and things like that. So it's still a big like we'll see. I think the game is worth trying out when they update it for sure. Like it has a lot of potential, but they do need to address those root issues.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that if they actually figure out some of the like client desync stuff, that it could benefit BDO as well. Like if they really solve the root issue, then they inherited all this shit from BDO in the first place, right? So but it's still, we'll just wait and see.
I'm still crossing my fingers for a Serendia remastered, right? That's what
Are you doing Shadow Arena Potion?
I will when they fix the desync. I actually enjoy the PvP, but the desync, man, is just I can't.
So I'm doing the sponsored streams too.
I've been told that.
Oh yeah, you got sponsored. Yo, hook me up.
I've been told that there's a new update for it too. That this is different than like last week and the week before. So this is different than the last beta, different than original Steam release, and that's the new version that we're going to be playing too. So
they're definitely putting work into it. Like I can tell from the behind the scenes convos that I've had that they want this to be successful. They're not just going to have like a mediocre early access launch and then divert resources. If anything, it seems like they're diverting more resources into it. So they want it to be successful. So we'll have to keep.
They want people to play, and they want good feedback from the game. That's what they want.
I sent our guy a pile of clips of things that went wrong in I think I've played it for about 10 hours or so on stream, and I dug through a couple hours of it and sent him some really good clips of should probably be looked at. So now have you seen the forum yet, Moreland?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I haven't gotten it yet, but I'm excited for that. We get to hand him something and go, hey, look this.
Yeah, I mean, there's good questions on there. I think they're serious about figuring out what's wrong with the game and fixing it. So.
Cool.
Word.
All right, let's wrap it up.
All right, that was episode 5 of Math and Nerds and Words. Thanks to Joe, Moreland, Potion Shop, and myself, obviously, Tim Allen 1337. Let's go through here real quick and promote yourself, what you got going on, what people can look forward to on your Twitch, YouTube, Discord, etc. Moreland?
Moreland TV on everything. The Moreland.tv website will be ready soon.
Ooh.
Maybe in the next week. So
looking forward to that.
I'll make a big deal out of it when it is up. I'll post it on Discord and Twitter and everywhere you can find it. So it'll be obvious when it's up, but keep an eye out.
Giggles, how about you?
So I have been putting up music on my YouTube channel. So I actually have 9 songs on YouTube now. What I'm doing is I'm hiring a producer because I'm not good mixing it myself, but I tell him, hey, this is the direction I'm looking for. I give him feedback on each individual part of it, and then we're making a whole album of 20 songs. And so I'm working with several different artists to get that done, and then I'm publishing and releasing all of it with rights. And I'm looking forward to it. I got 9 songs out right now. Hopefully in a month we'll have the other 11 out. Always running into hiccups with production. So,
can you sample me for one of your tracks?
Possibly. Hit me up offline. I'll see.
Are you gonna DMCA Twitch streamers who use your music?
Do it.
Actually, second thought, Tim, no.
Yeah, that's a man right there, dude. Stand up for yourself.
All right. That's it. Yeah, we can check them out on YouTube. It's Potion Shop, and yeah, pretty easy to find, I think.
Mr. Fails.
My name is
Joe Never Fails. You can catch me on Twitter at Joe Never Fails, twitch.tv/Joe Never Fails. And I promise that this week you can find me Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday streaming games like Black Desert Online, Shadow Arena, God of War, Elder Scrolls Online, and maybe a little IRL content coming up this week. Who knows? Come check it out.
I'm Tim Allen 1337. If you guys missed what I said in the beginning of the podcast during my week, I'd invite you to scroll back or go on Spotify. We do upload this. It's up by Monday morning. Potion Shop on Spotify.
It's supposed to be up 24 hours after, unless I mess up, which was like
okay. So Monday morning.
Yeah.
So and then it's on. Are you guys uploading this to YouTube? Any of the three of you?
I am. Yeah, you can find it on my YouTube as well with the music.
Marlon?
No, not at this time. Maybe later.
Okay. So Potion Shop and Tim Allen upload it to YouTube, and then we also have it on Spotify. !podcast in my chat for those links. But for me, I am currently in the middle of a 24-hour stream celebrating and appreciating my community for helping me out with a sponsorship. But please look forward to this next week. I have a lot of fun playing Shadow Arena. I don't give a shit about the desync or whatever's going on in that fucking game. I love styling on people, and I'm very excited and proud to have some sponsored streams over the next month with Pearl Abyss. So hang out after my video streams to check that out. Twitch.tv, Tim Allen 1337, Discord, Twitter, all that stuff. Gentlemen, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure.